Hi, everybody. I'm Andre Young, and I hope that you have had an amazing week and ready to evolve with me. So, welcome to the Thought of the Week. This week's title is called Inspect What You Expect. And I love this because we all have our expectations. We have our expectations for ourselves or our lives. And most importantly and most dangerously, we have expectations for the people we care about the most, our significant other, our kids, our parents, our friends, our co-workers, our jobs. And those expectations can allow us to get to where we want to go sometimes, but most of the time they wind up being very dangerous. Because if those expectations don't match and look like the picture we see in our head, boy, are we ready to crucify, vilify, and let them know how unsatisfied we are. Whether we fight with them, whether we disconnect, whether we break up, whether we leave, no matter how we do it, it's all because it doesn't match the picture that we see in our head. So, in true Thought of the Week form, I have a quote for you, but I also have a question and some tips. So first, our quote. Simply, inspect what you expect. Unknown. We have to really sit back sometimes and inspect and think about the things that we are expecting from people. Is what we're expecting reasonable, doable, and fair? Is what you're expecting out of your husband, wife, boyfriend, and girlfriend reasonable, doable, and fair? Knowing how they are, not how we want them to be, but how they are. Is that reasonable, doable, and respectful for our kids, our co-workers, and so forth? So here's our question. What exactly are you expecting from the significant others in your life? That's a real question. And that's something that you and we all may need to think about and really just sit back and ponder for a while. What is it that you're expecting from your partner, from your kids, from your job, your school, etc.? Is what you're expecting reasonable, doable, and fair? And I've done these two things that have allowed me to evolve, and I hope is a key for your evolution as well. The first thing that we had to do was something called hard acceptance. And what I realized is that most people are not lying to us. When we meet someone, most of the people are not lying to us. They are how they are. Now, we have first impressions and things like that. You go on a date, you send your representative. You go on an interview, you send your best self and your representative. But after all of that, and you look for a while, people are who they are. And what we tend to make a mistake with is either we think we can live with it, we think we can change them, or we believe that they will change for us or because of us. Change happens on people's own time, and usually when they've hit a bottom or an area of their life where they can't take it anymore, but not because of us. And even if they change because of us, that's not long standing. That's something that they're going to do for now, but normalcy creeps back. So it's important. Hard acceptance is accepting people for how they are. Not how we want them to be, not for what we think we deserve, and most importantly, for not what we believe that we can change them into. I have one son that's an extrovert, very gregarious, got a big personality, he's like the mayor of the town. My other son is an introvert, very quiet. If I ask him a question, it's usually one-word answers, doesn't like to talk a lot. I just reach out to him and talk to him so I make sure I know his voice. And because I love him, he's an awesome kid. But hard acceptance means I'm going to let him be an introvert. I'm going to let him be an extrovert. I'm going to allow my wife to be how she is, not how I want her to be. Can we allow our employees and our employers to, and within reason, obviously, be how they are? Because that's how we met them to be. The other part is the you. And yes, the you. Sounds pretty odd. What the you is the you part of my root way. See, when I do one-on-one mentoring at somebody's jobs or with university athletics or individual mentoring, we have the R, we have the E, we have the U. And the U has become one of my favorites because it's understanding the opposition. The truth is, most of us would love to be able to control everything and everybody. If they would just do what I want them to do, if they could just understand what I want them to understand, if they could just see how I see it. And instead of trying to control the opposition, because we all have those opposing forces, whether it be our boss, whether it be our kids, our husband, our wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, etc. Instead of trying to control them, how about we best try to understand them? So with the you, how do you best understand this person to be? Why are they the way they are? Now that we have some understanding, we have a little bit more empathy. And now with a little bit more empathy, we can do a little bit more caring. And it allows us at least a little bit more tolerance, at the minimum. Now we get into what is their deepest and biggest need from us right now. Again, this is not us trying to control them. What is their biggest and deepest need from us right now? Is what their biggest and deepest need, is it reasonable? Is it doable? And is it fair? And if so, we want to do it just a little bit past our comfort zone. Not so much out of our comfort zone that we get bitter, dissatisfied, frustrated, and judgmental and just all over the place. But that's the key to winning. Hard acceptance, accepting people for how they are and who they are. And if you can't accept it, you don't have to be there. Typically, we don't have to be there. If we do have to be there, how do we modify how we're there? And as we're modifying, let's do the you. How do we understand this person to be? What's the truth about how they got to be how they are? And what is their biggest and deepest need from us right now? That's not always us guessing. We might guess and we might be right, and we fulfill that need, and yay us, yay the relationship, yay our evolution and the future. But what if we guess wrong? The you implies that we care. We care enough to ask, what is it that you need most from me right now? How can I be the best and greatest husband or wife or brother or sister or friend or coworker, employee, employer for you right now? Do we care enough to know? And once we care, do we know how to listen? And then if it's reasonable, doable, and fair, then we apply it. How can our life be worse? Because as we care for the biggest and deepest needs from the people around us, it's amazing how things come back to us. So guys, thank you so much for letting me steal some of your time this week. I hope something resonated with you. I'd love to hear from you if you want to connect with me on our Facebook or Instagram or YouTube page. Love to hear from you. If you like this, we have so much more at youevolvingnow.com. Check out all of the features that we have for you, your company, your students, and your athletics. Guys, take care. I will see you next time, and enjoy your evolution. Take care.